All right, perfect. I'll jump into it. So from a Planet DDS Pay perspective, and what we're wanting to cover and discuss today is the solution we recently rolled out, the benefits that it impacts and helps address clients who are processing payments from an embedded payment solution within our software solutions. And so first of all, I think, Joe, I think we'll go to our industry trends on where we're trending and what we're seeing in the market and what our clients are experiencing. So from an industry trend perspective, what we're seeing is there's a big increased demand from clients of using and allowing and offering an embedded payment solution from what they're seeing in their practices, how their practices are being driven. A lot of what we're doing from a Planet DDS perspective, Planet DDS Pay, is also on the demand of our clients and the growth of their contactless payments, their flexible payment options, as well as the rise in need of transparent, secure payment processing. So all these demands from the market, our clients, are driving our solution, and why we're here with this panel, not only from a partner perspective, but also from a client perspective. And then, of course, the demand for modern features, whether that's surcharging, our cost offset fee, our integrated reporting and reconciliation that we're rolling out later this quarter. And one of the things I love most about what we've done with Planet is the embedded and onboarding solution, where we've simplified the onboarding solution beginning to end. So this is kind of the industry trends, what we're seeing from a platform perspective, then also kind of the answer or how we have addressed that from a client perspective. So from our actually Planet DDS Pay itself, Joseph, we'll go to our next slide of what we've rolled out and what we're doing. From a Planet DDS Pay perspective, what we've done is we've automated the payment posting perspective. So any embedded payment solution, it's automatically going to post any transaction, whether it's point of sale, whether it's online, whether it's text to pay. We recently rolled out our cost offset fee, which is a great product that helps our clients offset the cost of payment processing from a credit perspective. If you're accepting and offering obviously credit card payments, this allows you to push that cost onto the cardholder themselves or the patients if you so choose to do this, which obviously helps and drive profitability and margin at the office location. One other thing that we've rolled out, and we're very excited about this coming later this quarter from the development perspective, is our integrated reconciliation reporting, where when you have an integrated reconciliation report that you go into the software, you go into Denicon, you're going to click on your reports, be able to see everything beginning to end of those transactions and simplify the back office reconciliation for your accounting teams and obviously the office staff when they're doing weekly, monthly reconciliation. Also, from an enhanced online experience, we're enhancing that experience. So we'll be able to provide patients the experience that they're used to. Since they are cardholders above and beyond being patients, they're used to a certain workflow and checkout process, and our goal is to mirror that as much as possible. From a modern and cost-efficient terminal perspective, one of the things I'm really excited about with Planet DDS Pay is we have these modern terminals from a point of sale perspective. We'll look at those here in a minute, but what I love about those is that they mirror what we all use from an iPhone perspective and our normal cadence of checking out and using that experience. And of course, our exceptional support, we have an embedded or a direct payments support team that does nothing but support our payments clients. So when you have a payments issue, you need to research something, whether it's in the software or payments, you go to one person, you go to one team, and we take care of it for you. So we're simplifying even when we have those research or we have those questions, that we address those and allow us to ensure we're supporting our clients as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And lastly, it's the automated onboarding. So our goal is to automate the onboarding process as much as possible. We have taken a lengthy onboarding process, simplified it significantly. It's now very simplified from a onboarding experience and also from a registration and doing the necessary due diligence and KYC. And with that really leads us to, so I'll do an intro of Habib. Habib, I'll let you intro yourself as we go and talk about the partner and the processor behind the scenes who's helping us drive our payment solution and who's actually processing the payments on the back end. It's a company called Stripe. You may have heard of, you may have not. They're a heavy player in the space. Here's some of the terminals that we're using that are Stripe. They look just like a phone. They look just like, these smart devices that we're using. But with that, Habib, I'll let you do an intro and kind of walk us through who Stripe is and how you're helping us support our payment solution.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeff. Super excited to be here and very proud of the work that we're doing with this partnership. So I appreciate you having me. Basically, Stripe is a technology company that builds economic infrastructure for the internet. We started in 2010, mainly focused on payments, but have since grown to not just digital payments, but in-person payments, providing a whole suite of products and features to make it easy to accept payments wherever people want to pay. Last year, Stripe has processed over $1.4 trillion across our entire network. And we've really taken a technology-first approach to how we are solving payments. What that means is more than half of our employees, our 8,000 employees around the world, are engineers, product managers, are technically obsessing over the best way to be accepting payments wherever you are in the world. You may have seen some of our more recent public announcement around kind of the work that we're doing to make payments acceptance globally much more easy with some of the kind of like innovations that we're putting out there. And that's the reason why the top companies in every vertical are building on Stripe, and that includes Planet DDS. 75 of the top 100 marketplaces are powered by Stripe in the backend. Almost 80% of AI companies are using Stripe for their billing, subscription management, and payment infrastructure. And that also extends to the number of software platforms that we work with. We work with over 14,000 software platforms. And that basically is everyone from Shopify, Instacart, Lyft on the kind of big side of the spectrum, to the folks that are, two engineers in a garage experimenting with an idea. And we are very proud of this kind of, excuse me, the breadth of users that we work with and are able to support. All of that feedback, all of the work we do with partners like Planet DDS allow us to provide a better user experience to your patients, your folks that are coming in to be kind of making payments wherever they are in and in however form they'd like to. A fundamental tenet of our daily experience on Stripe is reliability. And so, excuse me, if we switch to the next slide. Over the last couple of years, we've maintained 5 nines of reliability. And effectively what that means is in any given year, there is a window of about less than 10 seconds where the Stripe payments network is not available. And that includes days like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where the likes of Shopify are processing hundreds, thousands, millions of transactions in any given second. And that's why we've earned the trust of so many global leaders around the world. If we switch to the next slide, we might see some logos here that are familiar, and you might be surprised by the fact that some of these folks are using Stripe and it's kind of not very visible. That's effectively what we try to do. We're building the infrastructure for partners like Planet DDS to really bring solutions to market that are specific to your needs, given the fact that they are the industry experts, they are the folks that you are coming to for business solutions. And so again, we're very proud of the work that we're doing in this partnership. We think the Planet DDS team has built a fantastic product, and we're more than happy to be kind of supporting them in any way that we can.
That is awesome. Habib, I'd even mentioned your conference last week that we attended. It was a phenomenal show. I want to say there were 6,000 attendees, and a lot of these companies on this slide have representatives there. It was a tremendous show. So I appreciate that, Habib. We're excited about the partnership. this puts us in a really good place. And we're excited about just leveraging the technology solution that all these, Fortune 500, these fintech players, these, really just marketplaces are using it as well. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Jack and Maddie, and we'll let Jack, if you'll kind of do a quick intro of yourself and Maddie, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey everyone, I'm Jack McQuiston. I'm the director of payments at Planet DDS. So my day is onboarding and going through setup and pricing regarding what Planet DDS Pay would look like, powered by Stripe. It's easy for us as a payments team to go through and say, hey, this is the great product we've built and what we believe in, and obviously backed by the huge payments giant that is Stripe. But it's also helpful to go through and hear it from, a customer that uses it day in and day out, right? So today on the call, we have Maddie Hostin along with us, and she's going to go through some questions and answers just to kind of hear her experience. So to start, thank you, Maddie, for jumping on with us. You guys were an early beta client for us going through Planet DDS Pay, so I wanted to thank you for the time that you and both your team put through that integration with us. So maybe you can start just by giving some background on you, your role, and maybe some background on Southern Family Dental as well.
Sure. Thanks, Jack. First, I want to say I love beta testing with Planet DDS because you're great partners. We get to give input, and it's fun working with you. So I've enjoyed it too. So thank you. I am the Vice President of Integration for Southern Family Dental Partners. We have offices in Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and Arkansas. We're a mid-size DSO. And I do the integration for new practices and any new software that we're introducing globally to the team.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe we can start with, just your experience from payments previously, and then how that has changed since rolling out Planet DDS. I know you guys have been, on the platform since beta for about 3 months now. So maybe you can start there, just what your experience was like for onboarding and implementation.
Sure. So this was great timing for us because we happened to be onboarding 6 practices at the same time. So they had not been with Planet DDS before. So it was a clean slate, and I found it very smooth from beginning to end. Previously, with the partner that we were with before, it was a little back and forth. There was a little bit of hassle actually getting connected, even though we had 16 offices at the time. Every time we added a new office, we would go through the same procedure. We would have all kinds of security. They would need to talk to me. They would need to talk to our accountant. They would need to talk to our CEO. There would be pre-setup. There would be forms to fill out. And then the day of integration, which is often the same day that we're going live on Planet DDS, right, on Denicon, there would be a meeting that had to be set up, a phone call that would take time. They had to talk to me. They had to introduce their platform to the practice manager who was on site, and that took time away from our first day live with Denicon. With Denicon Pay, it's super simple. We can do just about everything beforehand. It takes about 20 minutes on the phone. Your team is really great. They are well set up to walk me through the process. Now, of course, I've done it several times, so I can walk myself through a lot of it, but they're always there for support. And then morning of, all I really have to do is unpack the device, plug it in. It gives me a little code. I go into the screen in Denicon and I type in that code and we're live. So it's really great.
Awesome. Yeah. I haven't worked with you guys. I think that's an idea that we see across the board is just, hey, how can we grow faster? How can we roll out these locations more efficiently? So that's great to hear just, how easy, it is working with your team and our team just to roll out those new locations. Next question, just from your end, we've covered what it looks like for onboarding. Maybe you can go into feature functionality, kind of what you've loved about, moving over to Planet DDS Pay and what that offering looks like.
Yeah, well, it's super fast, right? It's just, I'm sure everybody knows, you go to a store now, they give you the little box, you put your card on it and it charges it. That's exactly what it is. It doesn't have to be wired to a particular terminal. So several people can move around and use it depending upon who's busy, who's not busy, hand it to the patient, and they just tap their card and it's done. So that's great. We get a report of the charges that have been processed. That comes by email every single day. The platform on the website is very easy to self-navigate and figure out where the information that we need is. It's easy to add other team members if we need to. It's just really been a very smooth experience from start to finish.
Absolutely. I think that's, what a lot of folks have been looking for, right? The technology piece that offers everything that's all in one, right? Be it, mobile wallets or a Wi-Fi device to be able to move it around throughout the office, as opposed to your standard checkout process that someone would, go and stand in line and wait to play on, the larger, clunkier device. Other things here, just maybe you can touch on reconciliation and I know you guys also adopted our cost offset program through surcharging. So maybe you can touch on those pieces and maybe some merchant experience of what you've heard from your customers as you guys have rolled that out.
Yeah, actually, I don't think we're doing the reconciliation piece yet, but the surcharge, we've rolled it out in a couple of offices, and there's been no reaction, which is great. We thought we might get pushback from our patients, but we're really not getting any pushback at all. I think people are used to this at this point. You go to a restaurant and there's a different price for credit versus cash. You go to a gas station, there's a different charge for credit versus cash. And so it's been very smooth rolling it out in the offices, the surcharge. Yeah, and we've just added, so I don't have numbers on that just yet, how that's affecting us.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way, and where things are just moving in the market, right? Is hey, how can we help lower our cost? And then the solution to that, more times than not, is through the cost offsets, and that's perfect. Joe, I think you might be on mute there, but maybe we can open up to Q&A from the attendees.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I was on mute. So we do have a couple. The first one is, what are the reporting capabilities in Planet DDS? Like, what are you able to see? Is it something like, how frequently do you look at it? Is it mainly just the reports that are emailed to you, or like, what does that look like from the payment side?
So there is daily, we just get, this is the amount, and then it gets broken down by patient and what the charge was, what we paid, and so what our net was. When we go online, we can run that daily, weekly, or monthly. So we can take that amount. Our accountant actually takes the monthly charge and works that out of our gross to our net. So it's very flexible.
Awesome. That's great. Honestly, good to hear that. I'm not a payments guy like Jack and Jeff, so I'm just a marketer. I'd love to hear how well this is working out for you. Another question we do have is location. Is there any limitations on the portal or from a location perspective? This might be a question for Jack as well. I know SFDP has 4 states. I'm sure you on the website it shows you're going to expand. Is there going to be any limitations as they grow?
Yes, I can take that. Obviously, no limitations, right? Like, we can support anything from your few locations that you have all the way up to these huge DSOs, and Maddie and team are growing to that as well. Reporting is broken out by merchant ID or Stripe Connect ID. So each individual location has its own reporting, which kind of goes into what Maddie said about just being able to reconcile each individual location as opposed to everything rolling up into one and you having to do that, additional work to be able to make sure the ledger balances. Yeah, I'm sure we can poke for a few more questions here, Joe. Surely, right?
I guess everybody's finding it as straightforward as I did.
Yeah, maybe it is.
It's kudos to you, Maddie.
Oh, I do see a question came in right now. So let me add this. We have one more. Who should I reach out to discuss implementing Denticon Pay to add to our website? We currently use BOA Merchant Services, and I have been in contact with Jamie, but I think there's another contact I need to reach out to.
Yeah, so we can Joe, if we can capture that information, I can get on a call with Jamie and myself, and we can kind of go over, what you guys are trying to accomplish, like with checkout, right? We have a few different options through the Planet DDS Pay integration to be able to, collect those funds easier depending on what scenario you're looking for. So yeah, we'll collect your contact information, and I'll reach out to you here after this call. That's a great
Awesome.
question. What else do we have?
I don't see any other questions here. I was curious though about the Stripe integration and the benefits of using Stripe. So the uptime is obviously very impressive. Is there any potential that because this is a dental product that it would be deprioritized, or this would be something that isn't as important to Stripe to maintain strong partnership going forward?
Yeah, no, so I can speak to that. My background is I've worked for these larger legacy players in payments, the large ones that were essentially first to market, right? And we went through a great, process of picking our vendor that we wanted to roll out Planet DDS Pay on, and Stripe was hands down the leader in that. From a Stripe perspective, it's best in class technology, but we also handle everything in terms of support and implementation. So no worries on deprioritizing. We have a great partnership with Stripe, and this is a focus for both companies here as we go forward.
Awesome. That's all I'm seeing right now. So thank you for your time, Maddie, Habib, Jack, and Jeff. If anyone wants to learn more about Planet DDS Pay, you can click the button above. We will also send you an email post webinar. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Jack personally. I will make sure that you have his email address. And thank you for attending.